Well, I told you this before, but you inspire me because you heavy delegation. How you get to like?
I'm ambitious as hell, and I'm just like, you don't want to advertise because it's going to get out of control. Like, I'm already thinking, like, mind you, I'm 21, 22, I'm already thinking, like, teams, infrastructure, systems, blah, blah, blah. Not being able to delegate and hire my business actually put me in the hospital. But now it's just like, all right, cool, now that's a little bit too much for me, and I don't want to be a spoke, because that's a big thing, too. Like, you don't want to ever get in the way. Like, I realized another big reason I started automating my business is because
All right, man. What's up, Brian? Appreciate you for stopping in.
You already know.
Closing table. I know we talk often all the time. It's talking about different plays, different things. But I really wanted to put this together because you know the conversation we be having, and a lot of people don't hear those type of things. Like shit we just was talking about 5 minutes ago. A lot of people don't even hear that type of stuff.
Crazy.
So I wanted to put together a platform, which started out like a little mini series. It's kind of growing, kind of bigger than that, to where people can just listen and tap in and just hear. Like, yo, like what do they be here talking about? What do they, I want to hear and I just want to sit in. Cause I believe that if you just a fly in a wall places, like you can grow so far by just being in a room, and people get it confused where like I gotta physically be in a room. Like watch my YouTube, that's a virtual room. Are you hearing some game that might change? I know I made money off people on YouTube, just hearing stuff they said. So that's the whole point of this. So again, appreciate you for stopping down.
No, of course, bro. I was just literally talking about free game, just getting in the right room. Like I'm literally listening to a podcast this morning driving over here, and just the things that I'm learning about the different systems, different plays and things like that. Like this is $1 million worth of game and encapsulated. So
I think for real, and to be honest with you, I feel like this is about to be like a Wednesday night or something. This is why we just rapping.
Okay.
To be honest with you, the problem is, right, all this stuff is open. It's wide open. Anybody can listen to this stuff. The problem is two things. One, people not listen to it, and the second part, the people listen to it, but they scared of works. I just was having this conversation with somebody, right, the other day, and we was talking, and I was like, yo, what you worried about? And it was like, sometimes I have a fear of succeeding. Crazy it sounds, it's a lot of people like that. And I was like, what you mean? It was like, I have sometimes fear like this might, like they already doing a thing, but they scared to turn it up another notch. Like I'm scared like dang, like this thing really might blow up to something crazy.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
That's comfortability, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my mom said it to me before, because I remember when, and we could talk about this later, but I remember when she was first talking about the event business and things like that, her biggest thing was, I'm afraid to advertise because I don't want it to get out of my control.
Yeah.
And I heard, mind you, I'm hearing this 21 years old. I'm ambitious as hell, and I'm just like, you don't want to advertise because it's going to get out of control. Like, I'm already thinking, like, mind you, I'm 21, 22, I'm already thinking, like, teams, infrastructure, systems, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just like, bro, like, you just hire somebody, but she never really thought of it, like, thought that far ahead of it. So I'm just like, that's really what it comes down to.
Yo, and I want to get back to that, but I ain't never told you, well, I told you this before, but you inspire me because you heavy delegation. How you get to, like, up until like this year, up until last year, I was doing everything. I'm talking about every single thing you could think of, from real estate to online to how I was doing everything, every single thing. It's been some houses, I painted the house, did some of the electrical work. I did everything. I'm just now getting to the point where like my days be so short, or I'm only doing like 2 or 3 important tasks. Everything I was like, I got guys running around right now, virtually and physically here in Philly. But you just said I'm 28. You just said, how old are you now?
26.
26. You said 21. That's 5 years ago. I for sure wasn't. I was thinking about how can I do everything myself. How you get like that?
No, so I mean, my biggest thing that I realized is that if I don't ever figure out how somebody else can do this position, I'll be doing it for the rest of my life. So when I had that kind of epiphany, I'm just like, yo, no matter what I do, I have to figure out a certain way to get somebody else to do it, to basically package up that information and set it up in a way that somebody else can do it, or else I'm gonna always be doing it. And it started with messages, like inquiries, like from our events-based business. Like at that time, and this was like 2-3 years ago, we were getting like 40 to 60 messages a day, right? So I'm literally like sitting home every single day, can't go out, can't barely eat lunch, like every single day on my phone, hi, welcome to Mannequin, hi, welcome to Mannequin, like answering messages after message after message, invoice after invoice, calendar after calendar. I'm just like, bro, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't. Like, I didn't set this business up for me to be sitting at a computer, giving myself a new job, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, all right, cool. I need to hire an assistant. And like, nobody in my family never ever really hired an assistant or anything because nobody really had a business like that. So I'm just like, I went on Indeed and I'm just like, yo, I need an assistant. These are the things that I do.
Wow.
Boom. Hired my first assistant type thing right there. And, you know, same thing with cleaning. Like, I don't want to clean the venue no more. I got to hire a cleaning person. And then that's when like SOPs and task lists first started coming out too, because I'm just like, all right, cool. This person gonna come in, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I gotta put a list together of like, this is how I want it, like if I want it done correctly. Because the thing about it, the biggest thing about delegation is that there's not such a thing as a bad employee, only bad owners.
That's a fact. That's 100%.
Because the thing about it is like, if 9 times out of 10 you show somebody like, look, you can move this box from here to here and put it over there or whatever the case may be, the average person can do it unless, you know, God forbid,
Right.
whatever. But most people could do that. The problem comes up when we are unable to describe and reiterate these tasks. Like, it's easy to you, like you can go and flip a property. You can say, all right, we gotta buy the property over here, run the permits, put the electrical, put the plumbing. But somebody else who's coming into your shoes, like say for example, you had to go away for a month for whatever reason, and you had to appoint somebody else that job. How are they gonna do that same thing? You have to develop an SOP. You have to develop a task list. You have to develop a set list of instructions on how to situate that same exact position. So that's when I created my first SOP for my assistant. Like, yo, these are the things every single day. This is what I want you to do. Monday, you come in, you check with all the past clients for the weekend. If they had a good event, return the security deposit, whatever the case may be, answer the messages, set up the goal reminders, check the invoices, log the payments. Everything that I did, I was just like, this is what you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that was my first draft. Always done is always better than perfect.
Thanks.
That was my first draft, got that out. And then a couple iterations over, I developed my new and improved task list. So now all my assistants, and I have 3 assistants now for that company that just run the back end. I'm not talking about the front end, just run the back end. I've got 3 assistants. Every single time I hire a new assistant, I don't got to train them. I just got to give them the task list.
Exactly.
That's it. So I can infinitely duplicate myself simply because I took the time once to literally just write out everything that needs to do in that business and document it.
Yo, that's a fact. I actually fired my first assistant, and it wasn't their fault.
It happens.
I hired them. It was a cold caller, right? I hired them, and I had them calling people, doing stuff, and I was just like, yo, why we not getting no leads? Why we not? And when I look back on it, I was not setting them up to succeed at all. I just was like, yo, like, I used to do this same position myself before you. I know how this works. And they just like, oh, I'm not getting it. I never really properly trained them. I gave them some script and just told them to read it and didn't really tell them how to really, you know, word it and how to break it down. I didn't show them how to input. I didn't show them nothing, and I ended up firing them. Looking back, it didn't even take me that long to look back, like a couple months later, and I tried this again. But this time, I went and hired a company to go ahead and, well, how I went was, this is when I had the little, like the epiphany. I had hired another virtual assistant to do the same task. They was a little bit better, but the same outcome. Common denominator, what the hell is the problem? Me. So then I went to try the third time and I hired a company. I paid a company $2,000, $2,500. They found a virtual assistant, they trained them, they set them up, they brought them back to me all legit.
Damn, you could have just hired my company.
Yeah. And it was going perfect. What was the difference? They were trained, they were set up. They actually stuck with them for 30 days and was making sure, staying on, hey, are you doing this? Are you doing it? So I didn't have nothing. I didn't have to do anything, but I sat and watched from afar, watching the emails, what they sending, how they tracking them. They sitting on the Zoom calls. They listening on the calls. And then that virtual assistant is still with me today.
Yeah.
But the only difference was they actually were trained and set up right, where I was just like, yo, fly. Like, I didn't give no wings, no jet, no plane. Just, yo, go fly. So that's the truth. And
just to add on to that, literally, and I didn't even realize it until like probably last year that the ability to delegate and the ability to automate is an actual skill. Like, it's a monetizable skill.
Facts.
Is that a word? Monetizable? Monetizable.
Right?
Huh?
It's a word. Yeah,
We'll take it. It's a monetizable word, right? Sorry, process. So basically, what I realized is that because we have VAs too, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 VAs, I think now.
I got 6 or 7.
Yeah, so what we did is that every time we wanted to show them a different task, we used a program called Loom, right? So we use a Loom video and basically we record that task. And I remember it was so funny because not being able to delegate and hire my business actually put me in the hospital. I had meningitis 3 years ago.
What is that?
It's a brain disease.
Damn.
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm better now. I'm happy to be here. But like, yeah, a few years ago I had meningitis, but it was partially induced by stress because I was.
That happened to my homie before.
Yeah.
He had to go in the hospital. He was in there for a couple of days because he was working himself too hard. Mentally.
I was there for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Damn.
And even when I was in the hospital, I still had to work because nobody else was doing it. I was a solopreneur.
Right.
So literally what I did, and that was the same week when I hired my 2 virtual assistants, which are still with me to this day, for my first 2 virtual assistants that are with that company to this day. And we sat together, and the whole meeting that I had where I showed them, look, this is how you upload in QuickBooks, this is how you upload it in Google Calendar, this is what I do. I recorded them, made it a Loom video, and we put it in our library. So now every time a virtual assistant comes in, and every time we train a virtual assistant to help somebody else in their event space, we have an entire library, an entire curriculum of 30 different programs that they can come and learn from. So now every time somebody wants to open up an event space and they need a VA, I got 30, 40 VAs.
They can just go ahead.
They can just go and attend our school, attend our curriculum, and then we just make money on the back end.
I did it the same way, but I actually did like a training with the VA, and I recorded it, and then just saved the recording.
Same thing.
Same process. Like, we was like, hey, look, listen, this Tuesday, your orientation, we're going to do a training, blah, blah, blah. Go through everything, show them the whole setup. Record it like, hey, you watch this, don't call me no more. Unless, like, it's necessary. But you shouldn't have to call me about little things. Rewatch the recording that we just did live. Your face, like, we're doing this live. And then now I can send that same recording to the next person, so they can go move on like that.
Easy.
But I ain't going to lie. So let me ask you this, right? And I think it takes a certain type of discipline for these 2 things. These like a real life discipline. For you to come into a large amount of money and not maneuver with it, and for you to come into a large amount of time without losing money and know what to do with it. 2 different things, but it takes the same type of individual. So for example, let's say the first time I ever seen a check for $100,000, I was like, all right, I'm sitting chill. I'm not doing nothing that crazy. And we just reinvested it. It takes a lot of discipline.
100%.
For somebody to go like,
shout out to you.
You're going chill. You come into a time where you got VAs, you can now chill, not necessarily, but you can chill because stuff is still going to get done. Shoot, I'm going to just go ahead and hang out all day long. It takes a certain level of discipline. Like right now, for example, we're doing this, we're setting all this up, but stuff is still getting done. I could be like, man, I'm gonna sit and watch TV all day because stuff's still no, we still gonna work, we're gonna still do this for the people, we still gonna do all this other type of stuff. So how did you get there? Because I know you working like you don't got VA. Sometimes like, this boy don't stop.
Yeah, there's a few different reasons. One, because even if you have VAs, or even if you have, and for those who don't know what a VA is, virtual assistant, but even if you have VAs, assistants, once you have a team, you still gotta manage them. So I'm still the general manager of my company. So like, I might not have to be in the trenches, I might not have to be like doing the, every little piece, but I still gotta oversee and make the bigger decisions. Like for example, we just got 2 more locations up in the Bronx. I still gotta curate the entire build out. I still gotta order all the materials. I still gotta set the marketing campaign. Like like tonight at like 8:30, I have a meeting with my my marketing team just about run crazy ads for the new company and things like that. So you still have to manage that for one thing. And then 2, like, I genuinely just love the grind. Like there's always another level. There's always something to do. Like because my events-based business is 100% automated, I work less than 2 hours a week in it, I can go focus on getting real estate. I could go focus on bigger plays. Like you should never be working in your business, but that does not mean that you can't work on your business. So because I'm not answering all the little messages and I'm not cleaning my venue and stuff, now I have the ability and the freedom to go and network more and go to more meetings and attend more masterminds so that I can go and network with more people. I said network already, but I can go and acquire more property and expand faster and bigger. I can't do that if all my time is consumed with a little stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You said something I think people sleep on, missed, is you said your event space is 100% what?
Automated.
Situated.
Yeah.
Proven model.
Yeah.
Money already being made.
There are days that I have events and I don't even realize I have events.
So for people that's watching this, right, Don't start. You said now you're buying real estate. Now you're doing this. Now you're doing that. Make sure your thing that's really bringing in the money is 100% situated before you start trying to spread your wings on a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I don't even think people caught that. You said it's 100% automated, so now I can go ahead and, you know, buy real estate, do this, do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people make $10,000 and they're like, all right, boom, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna start this. Nah.
You gotta take care of home first, because if that stop milking, it's a wrap. Bro. It's a wrap. Like I don't do anything for the event space. They still do $100,000 a month. I don't do anything. I just, but because like there's system, like even just the other weekend, because as you grow, new systems need to be implemented. I want everybody to really catch that. Like as you grow, like the same system for one Airbnb is not the same system for 10 Airbnbs, is not the same system for 100 Airbnbs. You're dealing with whole different levels of infrastructure. You're dealing with different levels of litigation. You're dealing with different levels of business structuring and formation. Like it's a whole different ball game. Like when you go from business, like from small business to CEO to mogul, like it's a whole different ball game. So it's just like, I just had we just had to redo our whole payroll system because like certain people weren't getting paid on time, or like because everything had to go through me.
Yeah.
Because when we only had a few employees, like it was easy. Like I was just like, all right, just I'll take care of it, blah blah blah. But now that we have going on 22, it's a lot for me, especially because I'm moving around, things like that. So what I did, we had a team meeting, and now my team handles the entire payroll. I used to do it. It was like, and that was my 2 hours of work every week to just run payroll. But now it's just like, all right, cool. Now that's a little bit too much for me, and I don't want to be a spoke, because that's a big thing too. Like you don't want to ever get in the way. Like I realized another big reason I started automating my business, because I realized I was choking my business. I was getting in the way of my own business.
Yo, I think that's some game, because for real, people don't even realize that you can hold your own self back and you can hold everybody else back by you trying to be too much involved.
Doing everything.
I said that to somebody before. It was in their business, I'm not going to say the details, but in their business, they was trying to do X, Y, and Z. I was like, honestly, you're not the best person for that.
Even when you think you're the best person for it.
You're not the best for
You're not the best person for it.
I'll say that all the time. Like, yo, I'm not really good at that. Like, so I'm not going to do that, because I know if I do that, it's going to hold everything else up. So you got to be honest with yourself. And the one thing that I love, right? And so what we do is we do team meetings every Monday with the entire team. And then with my personal assistant, my admin guy, we do a 15-minute meeting every morning, 9:30, 15 minutes, just to check in, pop out what we got to do, so I can tell him things and he can tell me things, so I can be up on it fast. And I'm glad I did that, because I realized it was a short period of time where things wasn't getting done to the highest efficiency, because I was choking my own business, because we was only having that one meeting and I was just forgetting stuff. I was pushing stuff to the side. Now he's holding me accountable indirectly, directly. Yo, you said that you was gonna send me this. We're on a meeting. Do you have it so I can complete the task? I'm like, damn. And it was like that first time we switched to that, it hit me like, damn, like I really wasn't getting stuff done, because you didn't have to bring it back up to me like on a formal meeting until next Monday. But now it was like, yo, yesterday you said you were gonna do that. Did you get it done? So I can go ahead and do what I need to do. And I'm like, shit, damn.
Yeah, a big thing to help out with that, and we slept on this for a while, is, I'm sure you know Asana.
Oh yeah. I use Asana.
Yeah, Asana is super. No affiliate here, but Asana is super helpful.
Asana sharp.
Yeah, with project management and different things like that. Like I only really use it when like we like using big projects like build outs and stuff like that. But for like with real estate, like what you do, when you got
I use
so many plates that you got to juggle in the air, it's just like, and you doing like, I was telling my mom about it the other day. I was like, yo, D, like he got like, she's like, how many properties is Derek on? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I know he be doing flips, wholesaling, investing, this, that, and the third. Like you got, that's a lot of infrastructure.
We started doing sorry, a couple calls. We started using Slack, right?
Oh, Slack is big, yeah.
Yeah. So like right now this is a deal. We just got this signed. 307 is 352 right now.
Anybody who takes their business seriously should be using Slack. Like no affiliate.
All this stuff. The three of us are in this group that's handling acquisitions and things like that. See that 145, this address. We utilize Slack so we can be a little bit more organized and stuff.
Yeah, and more efficient, 100%. Yeah.
And then Asana, the guys, we give them like, hey, look, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. The day is done when all that stuff is checked out. It makes things a lot more organized, and it helps you. It gives you the proper tools so you can delegate properly.
Yeah.
a lot of people don't mind delegating, but they don't delegate properly because they're like, yo, just go there, and when you get there, just call me. Like, no, like these are the things you got to do.
Even me sometimes, yeah. Even me sometimes, like me and Bianca, she's my executive VA. We had a meeting the other week, like 2 weeks ago, just to kind of check in terms of our communication. Cause she's my exec. So I have Bianca, she's my executive VA, and then I have Carlo, Monica, and Jerome for Mannequin, for my main events-based company, and then I have damn, what's their name? Forgive me, y'all. But I got Shayna. She does the
Don't watch
tech.
this.
She does the tech, and then I have Jubair and Naf. They do the tech and the billing and stuff like that. So like, but to keep all that stuff organized, like even I said, like you just said, like you drop the ball sometimes, things like that. So when you have a son,
We human.
Yeah, it happens, and we had a conversation the other day, and she was just like, yeah, we can go, certain tasks like these could be on email, because we talk generally on WhatsApp, and I realized that we were over communicating. That was the problem. We were over communicating. That's a big. So sometimes like when you're good at delegating or when you're good at automating, you have all this infrastructure. You sometimes tend to over communicate, like we talk. And if you realize that you're talking too much about a simple thing, it's like, sometimes it'd just been easier to just get it done myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if I gotta tell you, yo, D, move this plant, I gotta just move the plant myself. But now I gotta go and tell you to move the plant, but then I gotta go and check, did you move the plant? Oh, no, I wanted the plant over here. I could have just done it myself. So that was I had to take a step back right there and be like, pay attention to what I was delegating, how I was communicating it, and then what was the general overall payoff? Like, was it really worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because not everything needs to be delegated.
No.
And not everything needs to be a whole entire system. Sometimes it's easier just get it done right then and there, or just you do it, because if you go and tell this person to do it, now they got to get access and this, that, and the third, like it could really get hairy.
Ian told me something, if it's not done, if it takes you less than 90 seconds to do it, just do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If it takes you less than 90, so like if it takes me 90 seconds to go ahead and send you a message, hey, I need you to meet me here at 2:00, but instead I want, hey, call my VA. Can you send a calendar invite to bride? It's like, it's better, bro. I need you here at 2:00.
Yo, that's a perfect example, because sometimes like I get emails for like ebooks and stuff like that, or like courses and something like that, and I would respond because like I would just be checking my email, and people be like, oh my God, I didn't know you check your own emails. I'm like, well, truthfully, I don't, but it just didn't really make sense for me to go
a second to send you a link versus
exactly like somebody's like, oh, where can I get into like the challenge, or like here's the link, instead of me saying, yo, Bianca, can you go and contact NAF to go and get the link from ClickFunnels, and like it didn't really make sense.
Even longer waiting for it. It's like,
you know what I'm saying?
So another thing, damn, I lost my train of thought there.
But the 90-second rule, that's a great rule.
Facts.
When it comes to tasks, it's like if I know I can do it in less than 10 minutes, like a whole task, like I'm not gonna go and over delegate it. Like, but that's like a task, not like a one-off thing, like a whole task. Like if I know I can just knock this out real quick, like I'm not gonna bother somebody else.
That's what I was about to say. One thing that helped turn up my delegation, this is the last thing I want to say on, because I want to touch on something, is what would whatever number, like for me, I'll say, what would the $50 million you do? So helping you delegate, with the $50 million version of you, would they be running around doing X, Y, and Z?
Oh, 100%.
That when I heard this person say that, it kind of like opened my brain up, because I'm like, damn, like would the $50 million me be, running around in Home Depot for whatever?
That's
would
solid.
the $50 million you be, doing BS? And I'm
it's
just
a paradigm shift.
Yeah, I'm just like, so at that exact moment, I instantly start changing stuff. Like, yo, listen, sorry, bro, but we may increase your wage, but you got some extra tasks, because the $50 million of me wouldn't be doing that. So what a lot of us need to start doing is starting moving as if we're that person already. Even though we're not there, is start planning. The same way you plan and prep for things, you're getting ready for something about to come. Let's do that about our own lives or the future. Yo, I'm not at $50 million yet, but let me start moving in that way, so when that time comes, we're already situated. Like, let's say, for example, you're about to have a kid. Well, let me start moving as if I have a kid already, just get myself prepared. That way when the kid comes, it's like, oh shit, I can't come in the house at midnight no more. Like, yo, start getting yourself prepared now, so when it happens, I've been moving like this forever now already. So
100%. Yeah. And just to add on to that last point, like one of the biggest things that I realized that I was doing wrong is like, because you don't have to, and I guess this is just, it's common sense, but like they always say, common sense isn't always so common. It's just like, if you can predict something's going to happen, especially when it comes to communication, just deal with it right then and there. And I'm gonna explain what I mean like that, right? Like say I send out an email, instead of me saying, "Yo, Bianca, can you go call? Hey, Bianca, can you go contact NAF to deal with this chargeback?" I would flesh out the entire project. Hey, Bianca, can you go contact NAF for this project? If the client did not pay, then send them this link. If the client did pay, then you can pull out their, resolve the issue by doing X, Y, Z.
Right.
Like I'm dealing with every point to eliminate over communicating. I'm dealing with every, and like a small business owner.
I'm big on that. My message is long. Don't hit me back.
But you see, like that was my problem at first. At first, it was just like I was just so quick to delegate that I wasn't taking the time to step and to really think it through. Like, all right, cool. Like, what can she potentially come back to me with, or what can they potentially come back to me with? Let me flesh out the whole thing. So, all right, cool. You have an option for every possibility that can be out there. Like boom, boom, boom. And then by that time, your team overall is going to just start respecting you a lot more, because it's just like they don't have to keep coming back to you. They can go and do things a lot more automated and things. It just makes the whole system a lot easier.
That's big in real estate, because when we sending guys to go get material, do different things, it's like, yo, if they don't have that, try this store or ask the person, see if it's another store, or actually this other material will work just as fine as that one. You got to give so many different options. Otherwise, hey, I'm in this aisle, they don't have it. Hey, I tried aisle 3, they don't have it.
Most annoying thing.
We're going back and forth over a damn sheetrock. Like, yo, listen, just get that one. It's going to work the same way.
And it goes back to what we were talking about before with the law of inertia. An object in motion stays in motion. If every single time I'm trying to do something for myself, I got to stop and deal with something else. And that's just super annoying. And then you realize it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you ain't got nothing done. Why? Because every 20 minutes, you're talking to your assistant, you're talking to your guy in the field. It's the most annoying thing. That's why I'd rather, like me now, the way I kind of set up my morning routine, as some gurus like to call it, or whatever. Because truthfully, my morning routine, and I know you're the same way, it starts the night before.
Oh yeah, my whole week is playing out Sunday night, and Monday is playing out Sunday night. Tuesday is playing out Monday night. I can't go to sleep peacefully if I don't got my board written out or my notebook written out. It just don't
it's
work.
Chaotic.
Yeah,
I don't like waking up and I don't know what I have to do that day.
I can't do it.
Like even today, like I have my whole schedule. Like, all right, cool. 6 to 7, wake up, read, meditate. 7 to 8:30, I'm in the gym. 8:39, I'm recording content. 9 to 11, I'm trading stocks. Then at 12 o'clock, took me 3 hours, but 12 to 2, quote unquote, drive to Philly to be at the podcast. Like everything is situated, even during that time, because I want to make sure that my deep work or the work that I need to get done is situated. Like, all right, cool. At this time, I need to call, like, even like coming here, I spoke to my property management company in Houston. I spoke to my insurance company because we had a problem with another property in Georgia. I had to deal with an email from one of the guys who's doing work in Bronx or something like that. Like all these things are already planned out. So the minute like the clock strikes 12 or the clock strikes 9, like you're not trying to figure out what to do, because by you sitting there now trying to figure, like, you know how much time
you would have to pull over on the highway.
What happened?
You would have to pull over on the highway.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. But like I'm already on the go. Like I already know. Like, all right, cool. I got this call to make. I got to have this meeting. I got to situate this. Like even from the drive back home, I know what I got to do. When I get home, I know I got a meeting. I got to situate. I got to be in bed by a certain time so I can wake up at, like, everything is like you can't. The biggest problem that most people have is taking time for granted, is wasting the opportunity, because you got to understand, like, today's Monday. Sunday is never gonna come back.
Yeah.
So if you wasted that time, you wasted that 24 hours, imagine if you just scheduled it out and worked so efficiently that every single minute was used optimally, how much more you'd be able to get done in a day, in a week, in a year.
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I don't like to take time for granted, because I know it's never coming back. And I know that what I can do, like, you can see the difference. And like anybody who has a business or just has, you know, stuff going on, anybody can see. You plan out your day, you plan out your week, you just plan out what you got going on. You can use your time so much more efficiently and get light years ahead of everybody else who's not doing it.
Kobe said that he works out one extra time, or was working out one extra workout. Facts. One extra workout a day, you can't catch up. You can't, by the end of the week, you know what I mean? More work. I got 7 extra workouts.
Bro, I finish a book every weekend.
You can't, it's impossible for you to catch up.
52 books a year. I finish a book every weekend.
You can't catch up.
52 books a year.
You can't catch up. It's impossible.
bro.
impossible.
People be like, "Oh, yo, Brian, you got a book recommendation, bro?" Like after the last list I gave you, there's more, bro. I got
you can't
a
catch
library,
up.
bro.
It's impossible. And what you said, and I think it goes to right. This is good. I think it goes to if you're mentally already not set up like this. I think it goes to how you got started. So for me, I was working at a retirement home, and then I left. So
I remember when you told me that.
yeah, people don't
I was
believe
surprised.
it. I got up 4 o'clock in the morning. I preset text message, emails, everything, and sent everything. Because an email you can send out early. They'll check it when they check it. Text message, iPhone, you can preset the message, just hit send when 8 a.m. hits. So I would do all of that.
For real?
Like if I type a message, I don't have to hit send right now. It's still going to save in a thread.
Oh, I mean, if you don't close the app, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, don't close that. The app stay open.
I don't know. Sometimes my phone be tweaking, bro. It be shutting stuff down. But
well, thank God for me, it didn't do that. But I would type a message. Hey, we still go for our appointment at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Do that for all 10, 15 people, and then hit send at 8 o'clock sharp.
Okay.
So I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would do all that. Then I would get to the gym by 5:30. I would work out till 6:30, and then I would go from 6:30 to get to the job by 7 o'clock. Now I work from 7 to 1, 7 to 1, 1:30, and then what time I went on break? I went on break like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and 1:30. Then we're going break from 1:30 to 2:30. But while everybody else was doing whatever, I was getting back on the phone with those people. Like, hey, sorry, I was lying like a mug. Hey, sorry, I was in like back-to-back meetings. Like, are we, I didn't respond back to, we still good for this? We still good this? Putting together deals. And then when I got off at 3 o'clock, I changed my clothes. I wore work uniform, which, same situation. I worked in food, dietary. So as soon as I clocked out of the job, I went straight to those houses, straight to those appointments, straight to those stuff. And that ended at 10 o'clock at night. Then 11 o'clock, I'm putting together contracts, paperwork, and all that stuff. I think if you don't already mentally built like that, it starts with how you run your life. I couldn't afford to waste a minute. Every damn minute was out. I couldn't afford to, because if I was trying to get out my job, I was trying to do this. I literally, no lie, couldn't afford to. So I think when people having their stuff set up like that, that's when they just get in the habit. Now I don't know how to not do that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm thinking about, okay, I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna do as soon as we walk out of here. Like the time, okay, it's gonna take about 15 minutes to drive here. Okay, I know such and such, that conversation about 10 minutes. I'm gonna call them on the way.
You're already wired that way.
I'm wired that way. I can't turn it off. I try to. It won't work. And also, I think when people start, putting things in perspective like that, they can get so much more done in a day if they start moving like that. And also, we both listen to one thing, that leading domino was one thing that you can do. That if you not get this objective finished, it'll make everything else easy. So every Sunday night, I write down what are my one things for everything. So I write down what is my one thing for our personal acquisitions, the property that we are buying. What are we doing? Or what's that one thing for our wholesale stuff? What is that one thing for online stuff? What is that one thing for my personal health and stuff like that? What is my one thing for the other business? And now, like for example, I'm gonna just be transparent. My one thing for this week is, which I already start the refinance process for a property that we just gonna finish. By doing so, by finishing that in about 30 days, I have a check for 100 and something thousand. By just doing so, by locking in my schedule to finish up this podcast, then by scheduling this, setting everything up, and make sure I'm talking with everybody, make sure we're on point, we're gonna be on schedule to do the next phase. So just writing down that one thing and make sure we locking on that and make sure that's on point on the schedule and holding that stuff accountable really gonna help a lot of people waking up like, I'm gonna wing it. Like 2 o'clock, I'm gonna just do this. 3 o'clock, no, like this shit is on point. Boom, boom.
I tried winging it. It don't work.
No.
I tried winging it. It don't work.
I wing it. My brain go. It don't. I start feeling bad.
Yeah, I feel terrible.
I start feeling bad.
I feel like I just wasted my time.
I feel like I ate like the worst food possible, and now I got food. Like it's bad. Like, and people don't gotta be as crazy as us, but you gotta have.
I don't
some
even
type
think
of,
it's crazy though. It's just
Yeah.
efficient. Like, you know what I look at? People like Jeff Bezos, people like Elon Musk, like these billion-dollar CEOs, inherently they're not smarter than us.
No.
Their brains aren't composed differently than like we're all human. What they did is, and this is just free game to everybody watching this podcast, is they worked efficiently, they worked smarter, not harder, That's the biggest decision. That's the hardest thing that toughest pill for people to swallow. And this applies to 99% of people. Like, they work smarter, not harder, because everybody thinks that you can just keep chasing, running. Like, that will burn you out faster than you will ever think possible. You set systems in place, and this is why, like, I started to really get fascinated with, like, building different systems, infrastructure. Like, you set things in place, and then you apply your time to A-level opportunities. And that's one of the questions. That's one of the things that we spoke about before. Like, think about it like this: like, a surgeon. How smart is a surgeon? Like, obviously, you have to be brilliant to learn how to cut somebody open, sew that together, whatever the case may be. But somebody like Russell Brunson, or whatever the case may be, like that, he's $100 million CEO off tech. Like, if somebody on paper was looking at, like, all right, cool, this person was a coder, this person was a surgeon, who do you think would be smarter? But the coder, or Russell Brunson, like, and this is not a plug or anything like that, but like, he's infinitely more wealthy, generally speaking, infinitely more wealthy, because he's applied his time and energy to something that can grow vastly farther than what a surgeon's two hands could handle. So what I realized is that
it's just something that's more scalable.
Something that was more scalable, exactly. Just a better, an A-class opportunity. Like, a lot of times we are getting distracted, and this is me myself. Like, I'm gonna be very transparent here. Like, we get distracted by things that are more comfortable to us. We get distracted with things that are easily more feasible to us, that can gratify us more quickly, instead of thinking bigger. Like, all right, cool, if I just back up a little bit here and apply my time to something over here, this can go
way further,
ridiculously farther.
Way further.
Right? Like, we can go right outside right now and, you know, beg for some dollars or something like that, or wash some cars, maybe make $100 today. But we can take the back end approach, because remember, the arrow got to pull back before it could launch forward. We could take the back end approach and be like, you see what I'm saying? To jump, you got to squat down first. So you can literally take the time, like, you know, I'm just chilling in the house, I'm staying one summer and just learn how to trade. Now you took the time, you held out now, you delayed gratification now, but now because you took the time, you learned to code, you learned to trade, you learned how to do e-commerce, you learned how to get an event space, you learned how to do Airbnb. That information is taking you 10 times farther just because you chose to apply that time and information and energy in an A-class opportunity.
My man, one of my friends, I tell him this all the time, like, yo, I want to get you out of day-to-day money and think of long-term money. And it's easier for me to say, because in real estate, you're not closing on nothing less than 2 weeks. Like, it's rare situations with closing tomorrow, but with title and all those different things, it takes some time. So I'm already adapted to not getting paid for 30 days. And I'm already adapted to not getting paid for the next 2 weeks. We're stacking deals, so in 2 weeks it's whop, 30 days, whop, big lump sums. But I was telling them, like, yo, you make $100 a day, $200 a day. And this is granted, obviously you build up some business where the sales are coming in hot, but in that situation it was like, oh, we made $50, $100 a day. I'm like, yo, you made $100 a day, but in 30 days I made 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Not to compare us, but I'm like, yo, if you just change your model a little bit, like, would you rather make $100 a day or get a lump sum at the end of the month? And he was like, dang, you got a point. I'm like, yeah, we so quick I need something now. If you just sit back.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. And you got to start getting comfortable with delayed gratification. Now to a point which we know there are profitable, non-hard work-related tasks that you can still make a lot of money day to day, but just for the general public, like, start thinking about that. Like, yo, I'm not telling anybody to get into real estate, but think about, like, yo, what if I just, even in event space, if I sit there and put together some marketing, which I want to get into, put together some marketing, put together some packages, really sit down and get somebody to pay a $500 deposit. I know I got another $1,000 to make the whole $1,500, another $2,000 coming in their event next month. Well, we stack those. Next month is going to be crazy, but you're like, nah, I want to make $50 a day real quick. No, you can make $100,000 next month if you just sit down and put the whole play together, which is one I want to go to, because we definitely breeze past that. You threw in event space doing 6 figures a month. Like, how did you go from, and I want to say this and then skip right to the today. What year did you start the event space, and how did they even land in your mind? And because I have event spaces, I learned from people that have event spaces, but we all agree this shit is different. Like, you the best of it. I will honestly say that. Your
Appreciate
stuff,
it.
no, honestly, like, and and we have our event spaces. You know, we do good, and I was just sitting there like, and we running it like just went. We just, you know, I told you we just doing this is just. I just did this for my mom, so you know she can quit her job, she can make extra money, and we doing solid with it. Then you show me your stuff. I'm like, oh, this is a real business. This is a real, like, y'all really doing something. We just filling up the weekend. Y'all filling up the year. Two different things. And I'm man enough to say that. So how did that whole thing start to now?
Yeah, so I mean, so when we first got into the game, right, I was working as a server at an Italian restaurant. So I was actually, before I was even a server, around the time that I had graduated college, I went to a 4-year Baruch
Congrats.
in the city. Appreciate that. I was working as a barback, actually making $350 a week at this Italian restaurant. But it kind of goes back to what you just said. Like, $350 a week was solid to me. I wasn't thinking long term because, like, I'm 18 years old, 20 years old, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm getting this money fast every single week, cash. Like, $350 a week, like, is enough for me to eat another day. You know what I'm saying? Like that, enough for me to get next pair of Jordans or whatever the case may be, right? So I was cool with that. But I'm seeing the servers make like $1,000 a week. I'm just like, whoa, like, just talking to people, I'm like, yo, I could do that too. So I go to my manager and I'm just like, yo, like, let me rock out. Let me get a server position. Now you're not qualified, da da da. I'm just like, I bet. And one thing about me, I'm gonna get it regardless. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I'm built. So I leave and I go to another restaurant and I'm just like, yo, like, let me, I'm applying for this. I straight applied. I didn't even tell them that I was never a server. I applied for the server position. Like, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, this ain't nothing. Got the server position. Now I'm making like a stack, $1,400 a week, just serving tables. Like, I was smooth with it because the thing, like, I always tell people, like, I think I firmly believe that, like, when you're trying to come up in the world, like, you should be a server for like at least 6 months. I just feel like the things that you learn, like, you learn multitasking, you learn people skills, you learn selling, like, there's nobody and the money is like next best to drug dealing. Legally. Legally. And the thing about it is, like, it's built off personality and it's built off service. So you can, to a certain extent, kind of determine your wages. Like, if you quicker you flip tables, the higher you sell, the more people you get in and get out, like, you can really run up a bag.
People don't even realize that. I was the retirement I was working at, I was working dietary to feed old people, but it was set up like a restaurant. It was like they had to pay $1 million to move in. It was a rich retirement home. And
wow.
Yeah, it's another
That's
level.
different. Yeah. A retirement home, shit.
The down payment, the deposit is $1 million, and they still had to pay $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it was different. They was oil money. They was making money. So, but goes back to what you said. We had sections. It was set up like a restaurant. It wasn't like no regular retirement home. And they had 5, 6, 7 tables a night, like trying to have all that stuff wired going on at the same time. Like, that's how, like, you and I, we able to multitask and doing different things.
It goes back to the same thing, because, like, you know, you got to fire that entree at a certain time because
the got to be on point.
The appetizer just hit the table. You know that steak going to take 40 minutes. They don't want to come to dessert. By the time you get that entree, I'm ready to find a dessert menu to hand you on the table. So that's why I say serving, like, I would, my future kids are going to be servers. I don't care how many billions I have, my future kids are going to be servers. At least just a couple summers or just every summer. Just to learn the skills. It's valuable, you know what I'm saying? But, so I was working as a server, I stacked my money, things like that. Staying down, stay back, same thing with, because I was big on delayed gratification. Like, yeah, there was kids in my restaurant who had like Lexuses and Benzes and stuff like that, BMWs. I had an '02 Nissan Altima I bought in 3 weeks. $2,700. Remember it like it was yesterday. Still got the picture of my car on my phone. Like, bought it for $2,700 in 3 weeks, just working overnight after overnight. And mind you, before I didn't have a car before, so I was taking the bus 3 hours to get to work.
Damn.
Yeah, because it was all the way in Long Island. I lived in Queens, but it was like deep in Long Island, like Garden City. And I didn't have, and like if you drive, it's only like 30, 40 minutes. But I didn't have a car. So I had to, I had to take 3 buses, and it took me 3 hours because like one go this way and then they got to take it that way, and then. But anyway, so, which is what really pushed me. Like, sometimes you gotta just have your back against the wall. So, took the bus, got my first car in like 3 weeks, and I'm just like stacking. Now I got my car, I'm taking every shift. I'm working 6, 7 shifts a week. Wop. So eventually, after a year, I save up like $30,000, and I start looking for my own space.
That's a good situation. People ain't, how old was you?
22.
People ain't stacking $30,000 in 1 year. Facts. You was dedicated.
Bro, I was working 7 shifts a week. Like literally because we used to use.
Or they save 30, they definitely dipping in that.
Oh no. Like it was tucked. Like because the thing about it, like I'm staying at home with my mom. You know, my car's paid off because it was $2,700. I don't got no car payment. My car insurance is like $300 a month or whatever. Eating at the crib. You know, and I'm very grateful to have that situation because I understand. Like, and I don't want to be insensitive here. Like I understand. Not everybody has a situation like that. So I'm extremely grateful and shout out to my family and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody has that type of situation. I know there's reasons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. But anyway, stacked up $30,000 in a year, and I'm just like, all right, boom, I'm gonna get my own space. Why did I get my own space? Because we had just moved back to Queens, me and my mom, around that time, and she had like a little spot in the building where we used to live at. When people would come by and be like, oh, hey, you know, can I have like my kids' party here? Like it wasn't really a thing. It's just like people saw like a space and they were
like,
just
I want to have a little like a spot in the park.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a community room type of thing. Like how every apartment complex got a community room. It was something like that. And she was just running it, right? So people would come by and ask, and she'd just be like, yeah, like $300, $400. Like it wasn't a business. It was just like, sure, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when we had moved back to Queens, she was real busy with the house because she had just bought a house. So I was just like, yo, like. I'm working at my job, like I got a little bit more freedom in my schedule. Like I'll go do the open houses for you. I'll go take care of the venue for you. You know, it ain't no biggie. I was just trying to help out. You know, so I'm seeing how I'm doing the open houses. I'm cleaning the venue, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, yo, this is smooth. Like people literally just paying just to rent space. I'm coming, opening up the door. I mean, I was a lot more hands on by then, but just. To a 22-year-old, 21, 22-year-old, I'm
like you $300-400 for 3-4 hours. You ain't nothing.
I'm like, bro, I bust my behinds to make $200 in an 8-hour shift. Someone just paid me $500 for space?
Yeah.
I just gotta come back and lock up?
You come 10 minutes at the beginning, come 10 minutes on the end.
That was literally what it was. Literally what it was. I'm like, party from 3 to 11. I come in at 3 o'clock. All right, cool. This is how you work the AC. Like it was real. Like this is.
It was just space.
It was just space. Like it wasn't the conglomerate that it is now. It was just a room. So I'm just like, so obviously me, like I've always been that's kind of like ambitious. So I'm just like, I'm seeing other vendors come in like with like baby tables and thrones. And I'm just like, that's interesting. Yeah, like how much they pay? They pay $150 for that? Bet. I go online, I go on like Etsy.com. I'm plugging a lot of websites. I gotta start getting me an affiliate link. Like,
I told you that.
Huh?
I told you that.
Yeah. So I went to Etsy. I mean, I only used it once, so it's whatever. I went to Etsy and I found me like a little baby table from Norway. Paid like $600 for it. That was my first ever rental item. Now we got a freaking 3,500 square foot warehouse, but anyway.
All rentals.
All rentals, yeah. Full on warehouse, truck, everything, team, all that. But we got our first baby table renting out for $150 a night. Wow. Every baby table, yo, I just want to let y'all know. I was like schmoovin'. Like I had my little brochures, little business cards. I was just like, yeah, if you want to book, here's our website, here's our brochure. Like I was just smooth with it, you know what I'm saying? Like I had my little packages and stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah. Because right after that, I had bought a throne chair. It was like the lioness throne chair, the gold and white one with the little lion head. It was like $1,000. Mine was like $850 or something like that. Because what I did, remember, I'm broke. I ain't got no money like that. Because I told the dude, I'm just like, yo, I'll save $300 if I pick it up from the airport. My mom lived like 10 minutes away from the airport. So I just drove to the airport. I strapped the chair on my car, on my Altima.
The 2700 car.
Yeah, bro. I put that Ultima through, God bless that Ultima, bro. I stacked 3 rectangle tables, 6-foot rectangle tables in that Ultima, drove from Queens to Brooklyn. I put a throne chair, I put an entire baby table, cause like at this time I had trucks and stuff like that.
I know that car went through, that car survived?
That car was solid. The only reason I sold that car is cause, why'd I sell that car? I'm trying to remember why I sold that car. I don't know, I remember, but anyway, I sold it. I got a different one or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so at that time, I got my throne chair and like I'm doing, like I said, I'm divvy and dabbing. I got my little packages like, yo, I got a little brochure. Here's our website. Here's our rentals. Like if you want to add on. And people's booking it every single week. I'm hitting the baby table, I'm hitting the throne chair, hitting the baby table, hitting the throne chair. So like I said, I stacked up like $30,000. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get my own space. I want a big one, right? Because Lil John, it was like a little small room. You know what I'm saying? I was like, obviously bigger is better. I got a big one. Look at 3 spaces. Finally got my one right here, Fulton Street, Brooklyn. right? So I got that
That's
one.
the baby.
Huh? That's the first John. And to this day, like I still got that.
And how many you got now?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going on 9, but yeah, that's another story. But yeah, so now it's just like I found my second location, and I teach my mentees differently, but at the time, like this is why the biggest thing that costs you is what you don't know.
Facts.
I put my entire life savings down on that space, like put every single dollar I had. So come down, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I got rent to pay on the first.
You
like
gotta run it up now.
Gotta run it up. So what I started doing is I remember I made like a little flyer on Canva, and I still tell my mentees this play, and this is just free game for everybody who's like opening up their first venue or for any business, whatever. I made a little ad on Canva. And this is before like Facebook ads was big and like TikTok ads, like it was just like Instagram boost. So I put like a little photo, and I made like a
$5 a day or $2
yeah.
a day.
I mean, I ran mine up. I put like 200. Like I was just like, I went for broke. I'm just like, shoot, run it. But I think I stretched it out, so it came up to like $25 a day. I ran it for like a week, or something like that, right? Just to test. People start coming through the door. People start coming. I had my packages. Like it was like, I think the package was like $800, venue. And mind you, this isn't like, I didn't have like event attendant security and stuff. Like I couldn't dare do a package like that now, but it was at that time. So it was like $800, venue, baby table, throne chair, because I had ordered another love seat.
For 8? All of that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Bro, this is 5 years ago. This is 5 years ago. And remember, I'm broke, bro. I'm making it.
You try to run it up.
I got to run it up. Like, I don't want you to even have to think about it type thing. Because obviously, and this is a big thing. This is another play for everybody. What I did is I took an Excel sheet because I wasn't stupid. Like, I knew that there was obviously competition. So what I did is I took an Excel sheet and I called every single venue in Brooklyn, found out what they charged, found out how many people they accommodated, what amenities, what services. The refined name for it
Size
now.
them up.
Yeah, 100%. The refined, because I have a whole video in my course about it now. It's called the market comp analysis, and I have a whole video for all my students. That's why I'm saying, like, all my students, like, y'all have it easy.
Yeah,
My
you went
students,
through this to the muscle.
I went through it. Like, I had to figure. I'm still figuring this out because I don't know anybody making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 off event space. I don't know.
I told you, you're the only person I know doing that.
I don't know.
And I seen it. I seen it.
You can't count the big catering halls and stuff like that because that's 9 times out of 10. That's
wedding
older.
views, 200-300 people.
Yeah,
spot.
you can't count that. Like that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
They doing full on. To talk to them, it's $8,000. Like you can't count them. And besides, half of those been around for 30 years, old money.
Yeah,
but,
you can't count.
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Like this is multi-purpose.
You got to start at
time.
20 grand to get the spot.
You see what I'm like, Chateaubriand. Like you see what I'm saying? Like we not talking that. We talking like multi-purpose center type thing. Like who doing it? So like I'm still figuring it out. But anyway, it's just like so. At this point, I'm like I said, I'm broke. My package was $800, venue, throne chair, baby table, and I had bought some drapes online too because I saw this girl. She was doing like draping, like the curtains and stuff like that. I'm just like, bet I could do that. I ordered some white drapes and some pipes. I spent like $2,200 on it. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember coming to my mom. My mom's like, what the hell is this? She's seen a whole box of pipes and stuff. I'm just like, it's drapes. I'm gonna drape.
It's gonna work out.
Yeah, and so like I did a package and like people was running it. I made like $4,000 in a week.
Off of that?
Yeah.
So the key is the packages.
The key's always been the packages. But it's not a secret. I tell everybody all the time, but nobody want to listen to me. I run the packages, bro. But the thing about it is that you got to test and that's why the market comp like it's a little bit more than that, obviously, or else everybody would do it. But like you got to know the market. You got to know what people are like, or people are actually selling. Because if you out here trying to sell $1,000 package, but everybody charge $200, like it ain't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good the package is, you got to know where it's at.
You want to make it to where like you almost dumb not to do this.
So price is only an issue in the absence of value.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yo, I'm giving you this. You pretty much dumb to go somewhere else when you getting, all you gotta do is walk in.
So yeah, so that's a piece of it, 100%. And then also it's just obviously the presentation, the ease of service. Because like if you're telling me like, all right, cool, I'll get all this stuff, but I gotta come and like situate all of it, or I gotta come and like, it's a difficult process. Like accessibility is a big part of it too. So like, excuse me, the way like our company works now is like we have different brochures and like I have assistants who like will walk you through this entire process. We have invoices, like everything's detailed, everything down to the money, down to the wire. Like you're not gonna tell me 3 o'clock in the afternoon that like, oh, like you were supposed to get a throne chair. Like if it's not on your invoice, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's already lined out.
It's everything has to be lined, everything has to be situated. I can't wait to the last minute because I got 16 to 25 events every single week. And like my team's up in the Bronx, you tell me about a throne chair, like
It's sharp.
I don't know what you're talking about right now. If it wasn't already situated, I don't know.
Yeah,
you
we
know what I'm
can't
saying?
help.
There's not much we can do right now. But I mean, if the team is around, we'll try to situate it. But other than that, it's up and it's stuck. But yeah, so like that first month where I was just like promoting, and mind you, at this time I'm doing everything myself. I'm cleaning myself, open houses, like I'm everything. This is August 2018.
Okay.
So yeah, this is August 2018. So
Fast forward to now.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get there. It's all gonna make sense. So this is all. I made like $15,000 that month. $15,000 that 1 month, and this is just off one space.
That's crazy.
$15,000 just off the upsells and the packages and because I'm after that point I'm just like, bet. Obviously I gotta increase. Provide now this time like I'm adding different stuff to the venue, sound system, chafers, bars.
So the first one was just raw.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was just so it was the space, tables, and chairs. That was it. That was it. That's all I had. Space, tables, and chairs. Now all my venues have sound system and chafers and
TVs.
event attendant. I've got monitors and stuff like that. Now I don't really use the monitors, but 2 of them have monitors and stuff like that. Event attendant, security, like they have the whole like the works and stuff like that. But yeah, we were doing like $15,000, and then I got my third location, Ashford, November 2018. Now we're doing like $30,000-$40,000 a month, $50,000 some months. And then COVID came. COVID was a whole situation, but we made it through. Fortunately, like, you know, I was able to work something out with my landlords, and we just made it through. But that's why every business, 6 months, whatever the rule is.
6 months reserved.
6 months reserves, yeah, or else I would have been dead. But it worked out. But after COVID opened back up, I think I made
Floodgates.
$50,000 a month, easy. One, because everybody want to party, everybody want to be outside.
It was sitting for too long.
Yeah, and then 2, bro, I already understand. I run my market comp analysis again. I look at the comps, look at what everybody's charging, pricing, things like that, because it had changed. And I didn't realize it had changed, but it changed. The whole landscape changed. And then I'm just like, I bet I know what I got to do. Run it. Start promoting again, start promoting $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. Now, then we got 2 more locations, July 2021. Now we do consistent $100,000 a month. Just off the spaces.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know nobody else running it up like that on event space. I'm straight up. We ain't doing that. I'm keeping it a buck with you. I don't know nobody else doing numbers like that off the space. And what I want a lot of people to understand is start from small beginnings. A lot of people think like, if I'm not starting out making this type of money, it's like I'm bad. I'm not the best person. You start talking down to yourself, but you started out with a small space and you was charging $800, $700,
not
no
even
sound
$500,
system, $500, no sound system, no nothing, and you worked it up to that. So for a lot of people, that's just not even event space stuff, but just anything in general. Like just don't what they say, despise small beginnings. Like don't despise small beginnings. Do what you need to do now and build it up. But you always start the word scale. Like how can I scale up?
100%.
And the one thing I believe in is how can we scale up and how can we collapse time? Okay, so if it takes us a year to make $100,000, how can we do it in 6 months? Once we accomplish 6 months, how can we do it in 1 month? Then how can we do it in shorter time than that? And then what a lot of people don't realize, once you start thinking like that, all the other stuff is going to happen automatically. If I'm like, I want to make millions. Okay, yeah, you'll make millions, but let's start out with how much you doing a year? 100,000. How can you do that in 6 months? Indirectly, now you're making $200,000 a year. Or how can I do that a month? Indirectly, you're making $1.2 million a year. So just start by like, all right, how can I take what I got now and try to figure out how to do it faster? Yeah. How can we cut the time down just a little bit more? And then eventually, like you said, how can we delegate to where now I'm making the money faster and I'm requiring less time on myself?
Yeah.
You do them 2 things in order, everything else is going to fall. I'm just going to fall on its own. So that's some game, dog. I'm telling you, I want to give you your props because I'm telling you, I know a lot of people that do event space. Ain't nobody. That's why I was so shocked when I met you. I'm like, yo.
They're gonna make me blush.
Yo, bro, I'm sitting there. You showing me the cash apps.
Oh,
this
yeah.
event, this event, this event.
Marvin, the same thing, bro. When we was in Miami at the Lambo Rally, and I'm showing him a live time
Bro, I'm like-
$9,000 in a day.
I'm like,
He's like, well, we gotta talk, bro. We gotta talk.
I'm like, how the hell you doing this? Like, this, that, and I'm like, bro, you not even there. He's like, this, and that. So let me, and before we end, I want to ask you something. What do you, because all these spaces are rentals, right?
Yeah.
Or you're subleasing these spaces so you can do that, right?
Yeah.
So, which are both our event spaces, we sublease. But now what I'm getting into now, which we already talked about, which you on the same type of time, I have two buildings, about to buy another one where they're commercial mixed use. The first floor is commercial, which we're renovating both of them to turn into event space. It's huge. And then you went to one of them, I ain't show you the other one. And then there's apartments upstairs. So now I'm getting into, which for people that's listening, this doesn't even, when people hear the word commercial, it's commercial mixed use. When you hear people commercial, like, oh, 25% down, it's this big warehouse, this big building, I can't do it, it's impossible. Like, no, like you can literally get a small storefront building with one apartment up top, with two apartments up top, and there you can qualify for some of these smaller loan products. It doesn't have to be this big commercial loan because it's under 4 units, as long as it qualifies.
SBA what, 7A? That's one right there.
Depending on the situation, sometimes FHA can approve for it. This quote by quote it's a situation case by case, but some of those can get approved for it as long as it's not like no crazy humongous space. But a lot of under 1,900 square foot spaces can run it up a bag. 800 square foot, you don't have to have a 3,000, 4,000 square foot space. So I want to tie it all again. What do you think about, buying the buildings and actually changing to that? Because that's going my way.
Yeah, 100%. So, so obviously 21, 22 years old, I had money. And I didn't even, sorry, scratch that. I didn't have the information to go and buy a property because like you do it all the time. You don't need a lot of money to buy these properties. Like, so I know you be getting some of these properties for free. It's possible. And like now I have the information to do that. So now that I have the information to do that and the money, we are looking to start, I'm in escrow for a property right now. I'm in escrow for a property right now that's going to be 2 spaces, got a parking lot and things like that. So now, just because, and to anybody starting out, don't definitely lease, like 100%, like lease, because one, it takes a lot less capital to get into the game, and lease, I mean pay rent. One, it's a lot less capital to get into the game, and two, you don't have to worry about any structural damages, or you don't have to worry about the responsibility of a property. You just focus on your business, and that's important right there. So definitely when you're starting out, definitely lease, unless you have the knowledge and the know-how or a mentor that can show you like, all right, cool, if this is how you want to do it, you want to go and buy the property, then this is how you do it. I know we were talking about some things like that. So, but yeah, now for sure, 100%, because I have the knowledge and know how to do it. We're just buying property because we could just scale a lot faster that way. Like I could just go buy the property.
Control the whole situation.
I can control the whole situation. I can get 1 building, 3, 4 property. Because the best situations is when like I don't get 1 event space at a time anymore. I don't do that. It's 2 or more. I get 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. Like that's how I'm moving now because I have the whole system down pat.
Scale it up faster.
I can scale a lot faster. I can get better deals. It's just easier to negotiate. Like nobody cares about you when you're small, respectfully. But when you're, when you're growing and things like that,
You
just
talk that talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Talk that talk.
I'm coming in with numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's just. But this is not to discourage anybody who's getting started in the game. You could definitely like.
That's how I did mine. I got both at the same time.
Yeah.
It was better than to go like, yo, we're gonna get both of them. They like, right? Yeah, releasing both of them.
Yeah. 100%. So that's what we just did with the space on the Bronx. I actually subdivided that one. It was one big space. We cut it in half. People don't even know the difference. I built a hallway and everything.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gangster.
You gotta send me pictures.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I saw the small clip, but I need to see that. I didn't see that part.
Now we built it like people who are coming into those 2 venues will never. We call them Champagne and Moscato, the Champagne room and the Moscato room. You'll never know. You'll never know that it was 1 space unless you saw the videos before. But anybody coming in, like I literally mirrored it like my 2 spaces in Brooklyn. It's got a hallway. You walk in, 1 entrance here and 1 entrance here, another door over here. You'll never know.
That's hot. I like that. I wish I would. Dang, that's hot. That's hot.
Because the thing about it like this, look at it like this. And this is just more, I want really everybody to really apply this. Like the sweet spot for events is 50 to 100 people. Everybody says, oh, I'm having 100 people. I want to have 150.
They're not having that shit.
The numbers are this. These are the numbers, right? When you have a guest list,
coming to your baby shower.
60% of people show up, 80% of people are in the room at one time. That's the number. 60% of people are going to show up, 80% are in the room at one time. Because remember, granny coming early, but she leaving early. Big bro showing up late, but he want to stay till 3 o'clock in the morning. So even if you have a guest list of 100, they're not all going to be there at the same time, right? So the sweet spot is generally 60 to 100. So which is why I tell people like, yo, look, listen, there's no point getting 3, 4, 5, 10,000 square feet space and things like that. Like you can do it. You'll be able to command more money. There is a need for it, sure. But the sweet spot, 60 to 100.
Bro, the only reason we survived during the pandemic is because both our spaces are 1,000 square feet. We're having 30, 40 people. It's so much easier to tell someone that's having a baby shower, yo, you can't have 50 people in here. You have to bring your list down to 15, 20. It's easy to cut that and still charge the same amount of money. You mean to tell me I had a plan of having 300 people and you say I got to bring that down to 100 and I still got to get the same rate?
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation.
Hell no. But we can bring down from 40, 50 down to 15, 20 and they still like, I'm just going to have the immediate family come.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
That's why we survived during the pandemic because we were just running plays like that and people still was booking, we still was there, and we still fit the government code by having less than 20 people or whatever the formula was at the time, and we still can go survive. So, bro, definitely. And I'm glad that we was able to record it because this shit we talk about all the time and just regular conversation. So I appreciate that you allowed us to record this and allow other people to see it. So definitely appreciate you. And coming down, I know it was a little ride, a little trouble, but yeah, so anybody, drop your Instagram, contact, what you got going on so people can tap in.
Yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. Oh, I'm looking over here. Yo, y'all already know what it is. The Kid Billionaire B, aka Brian MNKN. You can follow me on IG at Brian BRIAN MNKN. Tap in with me, shoot me a DM. I want to help. Let's get it.